Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, depending on where you are. Welcome to everybody to the live stream. Hello friends, followers and channel members. Good to see you all. Right, how many people have been bashing their head against a brick wall in the last 24 hours? I certainly wasn't exempt. It took me a few things before we managed to get ready for tonight. For those of you that may have seen the video that I uploaded a little bit earlier on today, do check that out if you're having problems, but we'll try and address any issues that some people may be having during this stream as well. And of course, if you've got any solutions to any problems, then please do share that with myself and the rest of the community. Great to have you all on board this evening. So from what I have read and understood so far, reading around various forums and things like that, and of course on our Discord server, it's been rather hit and miss, this update, hasn't it? Promised the world, but hasn't always delivered. It seems like performance, one thing we are all agreed on, if we can actually get loaded in, performance has been phenomenally updated. So I'm really glad to find that. But I know that's not been the case with everybody, because that assumes, of course, that you've managed to get uploaded. So good evening, Hyacinth, Chumi, good to see you, Klaus, Wayne, and Cholty as well. Great to have you here. Christian, Dr. Magic, fantastic to see you here on the live stream as always. So our plan today is to try and do as realistic a flight as possible. I'm not doing real ops, not today, so we'll obviously do things as realistic as as we see fit, but no ruler bashing this evening. And we're going to fly from Atlanta, and we're going to head up to Washington DC. So I wanted to pick a couple of rather populated places here in the US. I've said before, I make no secret of the fact that I like flying in the USA. Terrible with my geography in the USA, but I did want to pick somewhere with some highly populated density, just to try out the frame rate improvements, really, if nothing else. And for a bit of fun, we're going to attempt the DC 19 river visual. Why not? Nabil Vlogs, hello, good to see you. So I'm just reading through the chat now, saying a few things. One of the things that I will say right off the bat regarding the FlyByWire A320NX is the stable build, or the marketplace version, no longer works. So if that's the one you've got and you're having problems with it, get rid. The only way you can actually get rid of that is to go into your packages in the content manager, in the simulator, not in the community folder. There's nothing in there. Go into your packages, go into and find the FlyByWire in there and remove it, delete it. Once you've done that, then you can download the dev version, the developer version, from the FlyByWire website using their installer. You cannot download the developer version from the FlyByWire installer until you have removed the package from Flight Simulator Marketplace, if that's where you originally downloaded it, because they're two separate aircraft, they're two separate files, and they'll just clash, and you'll get a crash to desktop. So you need to remove one before the other. RRT Pepper, that's just caught my eye. DC is where you're at. You can plane spot from my house. You can guide me in. Washington DC is not one of my regular airports to visit, but as I said, we were going to have a little bit of fun and do the do the river visual just for the heck of it. Okay, well, good news is they have also updated a lot of stuff throughout today as well. So I've got the Pushback Helper app, which is available from flightsim.to. That's always been working as far as I can tell. Toolbar Pushback has also been updated, again available from flightsim.to. So if you prefer to use that, then go ahead and get that as well. So lots of updates being rolled out today, and of course PMDG for the DC6, they've rolled out their update as well. I'm also I'm going to go in and, as I say, try and do things as realistically as possible. So, new boy, can I explain the package removal again, please? Okay, so this only applies if you downloaded the FlyByWire A320 from the marketplace inside the simulator. If you did that, you need to go back into your installed packages and your content manager within the simulator and remove it. Get rid of it. After that, you can then go to the FlyByWire website and download the dev version using their installer. If you're still having problems after that, and I explained that a little bit in the video, you need a file which is available from the FlyByWire team on their Discord server. If I can, I'll ask permission from those guys to see if we can pop it on our Discord server as well, or at least link to it, because when I first spawned in this morning, I had some very strange things going on, but you can check that out in the video and see that. So let's go ahead and get inside. So today what we're going to do is we are going to count the crash to desktops. That sounds like a fun game to play, doesn't it, this evening? Let's count the crash to desktops. I'm hoping for 0, but should we place bets now? How many bets are we going to how many crashes are we going to get throughout the flight from Atlanta up to Washington DC? When you try and find that badge file on the Discord, on the GitHub's Discord, sorry. You mean on the FlyByWire team's Discord? Oh wow, look at that, welcome to Atlanta. This is a handcrafted airport, so I should probably not be surprised to see that. But as RT purposes, it should be in the sticky bot in the support channel. Quite important. So Matt P says we're going to have 2 CTDs. Zitron says at least 2 from Simbrief. There we go. There's our flight. Tube is betting 3. Jas Maxwell, you had to crash the desktop from the menu. That's not good, is it? Okay, let's get those batteries on. External power. We're keeping this a nice light-hearted stream tonight, so nothing too serious. But we also want to make sure that everything works as much as we can. If anybody wants a copy of the operational flight plan for the stream tonight, hang on, I'm going to pop that into the chat on YouTube. I know some people are watching obviously on Twitch and on Facebook. If you are, please do give this please do give it a share. We're still quite new on Facebook and Twitch, so I would really appreciate that if that is doable. So let me just pop that in there. There's our operational flight plan for the flight to today. And as we can see, FlyByWire flight 1813. So the operational flight plan I've just pinged is this one just here. So we're going to go ahead. We're going to load about 6 tons of fuel, which is going to give us what, 3, 4, 5, about half a ton extra. So let's go ahead and load 6 tons of fuel. I didn't defuel the plane before, so we can go ahead and pop that in there, and it's just going to defuel automatically. Leave that set to real. I don't know if this stream is looking any sharper because of the improvements to the overall performance of the sim. The render scaling has gone up, so I'm only displaying this at 1080, but with the render scaling I'm now looking at this and it is really much sharper. I'm hoping that comes across in the stream as well. Rockstar, have they added the DHL hangar at East Midlands? Is that a default as well? Right. Well, fueling is underway. Oh, fueling's underway and everything stopped. Is this number 1? Oh, goodbye, Microsoft Flight Simulator. Didn't like that, did it? Damn. Well, the one reason I didn't mind doing this tonight is a lot of you will have noticed if you are getting crashed to desktops, then it doesn't seem to take too long to actually fire the simulator up anymore and load back in. I should have said as well right at the start that I was kind of playing chicken with the simulator. I turned on AI traffic, I turned on static planes just to see what was going to happen. I may now turn them off. But there we go. There's Crash the Desktop number 1. Strangely enough, that is the that's the only the second Crash the Desktop I've had all day. That's interesting. Anyway, let's see if we can get this sim loaded back in. As I say, it normally spawns in quite quickly, particularly as all of that is now being cached. So we'll see. But a lot of you now coming in and saying that yeah they've trashed the game. Microsoft Flight Simulator said no to the fuel. I've not tried multiplayer MPS gaming. I've not tried multiplayer, so I don't know about that. This was just live traffic that it had. Zitron, you don't have the patience. 2 crashes and you've gone. Yeah, well, you're probably not the first. Chubby, has Microsoft already reported that AI traffic is broken and can cause crash to the desktop? Well, we'll go ahead and get rid of that then. Sam, see, we need a CTD counter on the screen. That's a good idea. To how many figures? Should we just have the 1, 2, 3 digits? Oh lord. Gary, 28 hours of downloading and now at 90%. And does that include your packages? Of course. Remember, there's still the packages to download once you've actually got this all sorted. It's rather infuriating, isn't it? I mean, they've got all the beta testers. How has it been launched and released like this? It really annoys me when they do stuff because the sim was so stable. Interestingly enough, what I would think is I'm guessing that no one's had a crash to desktop on the Xbox. Does that even exist? I have no idea. I only have the Xbox One, which is not available on just yet. So if anyone has played this on the Xbox, I'd be very interested to know if it's crashed or not. Or is it completely 100% stable on the Xbox and they've just trashed the PC version? It's going to make long haul mileage Mondays rather frustrating, isn't it? But Mash, does anyone else seem to be getting annoying fluctuations in download speeds? Starts strong, crashes to less than a megabyte, stays there for a while and shoots up again. Yeah, definitely. Cabaret, every time I go into McDo and select a runway, you have crashed the desktop. That's no good. Right, well, let me then go and select, go to options. I'm going to turn AI traffic off. So let's just go to, it's on the data page, isn't it? Off you go. Apply and save. And that should already be turned. Oh, well, I thought that would have turned off automatically. Maybe not. Okay, let's go back. Right. Shall we try again? Let's get back in at Dallas. Not Dallas. Atlanta. I do love this. This screen is great. Okay, so I'm at the exact same position. Let's hit fly. What is weird to me is, I don't know if you can see that in the screen. No, you might not be able to. The window is just resized automatically. It was the full size of my screen. It's now just missing the very slightly off the right hand side. I don't think you can see that in the stream just because of the way I've got it all set up. When you don't think ATC is working on the Xbox, judging by the number of pilots hurtling down the runway towards you at Heathrow. Well, never mind. Who would want to play on Xbox anyway? Good question. Probably not me. I can see the appeal. I can see the appeal to a certain extent. If I was going to just sort of set it off, leave it as a sort of background scenic viewing, yeah, I could do that. Right. Christian, you think you have tweaked Microsoft Flight Simulator now, so it's stable, no crashes or freezes anymore. Well, Christian, you need to let us know what you did. Okay, let's hit ready to fly, and shall we go again? Fingers crossed. So we'll get the fly pad on. Oh, I don't like that. Hang on. So, because that crashed the desktop, have I still got FSUIPC running? That is another thing as well. FSUIPC needs to be updated. They've updated that as well. So I was going to attempt to try and run self-loading cargo this evening. Let's see what's going to happen with that. Anyway, so should we try again? Do I dare do the fuel loading, or should we just leave it? Do you know what? No, sod it. I don't mind. I've got time tonight. So I already know that I want 6 tons. Let's get in there. I could always set it to instant, but no, I want to see how often it crashes. We're at 1 so far. Okay, and we are now defueling away. I think the fuel is all working. What's going on there? Oh, crikey Moses. So not only have they broken the simulator, but all the ground crew are now drunk. Duh. What's going on? Reese, how am I not getting annoyed with the issues? Probably because that is only my second crash to desktop. Oh, it infuriates me though, but believe me, I'm being light-hearted about this, but oh my word. It does infuriate me. I am being light-hearted, but underneath I am seething a little bit because it was all working so beautifully. Anyway, let's try again. So we've got the batteries on, we've got the external power turned on. Ground control, CRV test. Must have been a party last night, yeah, some party. Lucas, hi Gavin, it has been a while. You're glad you're back. How have I been? I've been fine. I've been better than the simulator, that's for sure. We'll leave the fuel pumps on. Sorry, you leave them off for the time being. Okay, well, things slowly start to be loading up, don't they? Let's just come down. We'll turn up the brightness of that. Okay, all that looks fine. Let's come down here, switching panel. Oh, it's even saved my VHF frequencies. 1215 on VHF2. That's the guard frequency, which we always use. Aside from that, everything I can see so far seems to be in good working order. Let's just turn up the FCU brightness. What's our takeoff? It's 10,000 feet, so we'll go ahead and set that. I'm going to cheat and press B so we get the correct QNH. Let's get the screens turned up. Primary flight display, navigation display. And Lucas, you haven't had a chance to try the update yet. How broken is it? That all depends on who you ask. I think the correct question to ask, Lucas, is how many crash to desktops have you had? So far I'm at 2. Guys, beat me. What number have you had? I'd love to know. Rockstar Edgy, thanks for following on Twitch. I'd love to know what's the highest amount of CTDs you've all had before you called it a day. Right, refueling panel is open. That's okay. Jetway is connected. Should we dare attempt self-loading cargo and get those passengers on board? Yeah, why not? Okay. So then, let's start the flight. Oh, hang on. That's alright, don't get worried about that sound. That's me being an idiot. I forgot to do something. Okay, Let's see. I'm starting self-loading cargo. Let's see what crashes. Wow, some people have had a lot of crash to desktops. Rockstar NG on Twitch, you've had 5. Who's had 0? I can't pronounce that name. CMD Fresh, you've had 0 in the last 6 hours. Is that because you're still updating? Thomas, you've had 10 crashes, then you cried and gave up. Kevin, 4 crashes, ground crew not working, heading not working. Oh boy. Chewy, you had 1, you did 4 flights. But then the crash to desktop happened in the menu, so nothing was lost. Well, that's another thing, isn't it? If you're crashing in the menu, then that's not good. Zitron, you think the game only crashes when you're using the fly-by-wire? No idea. No. It crashed the desktop earlier on me, and I wasn't using the fly-by-wire. On Xbox, you can't connect the flight yoke, so you've gone straight back to the PC. I understand that. Wayne, you've had 5, but you were naughty and didn't remove the contents of your community folder. Tut, Wayne. Right, anyway, how are we doing? All that's on. Iron alignment is done. Let's see if we can still pull stuff in from SimBrief. Okay then. So, did this earlier, and it seemed to work okay. Let's try. So that's all right. Let's go to the Atsu menu, AOC, init press, pull this through. Reese, fly-by-wire going to fix the stable build. Well, you would expect so, because the stable build is, as I said a little bit earlier, it's not good, is it? But the dev build, touch wood, is working fine. Okay, 1 hour 20 minutes flight time. All right. In its A page, let's see if that works. We've got the alternate, we've got the flight number, cost index, cruise temperature. We're going to leave all those, that's fine. GPS primary, let's just clear the scratch pad. So our flight plan today, we're departing Atlanta. We're planning on departing runway 27 right, is it? God, there's that many runways here. Yes, it is. It's runway 27 right that we're going for. So let's just pop that in, and that is on the Jack 2 departure. Transition of Kellen, is that right? Let's have a quick check. Yeah, okie dokies. So insert that, and then we're going to attempt the RNAV for runway 19. Well, I'm putting the RNAV for runway 19, but we can come off the RNAV and we'll do the river visual. That is via Fergie. Insert. 542 miles, 555 miles on the flight pod. That's fine. Danny Rebel, good evening. Hope you're well. Christian, the best thing is that it uses less RAM, so low that I'm now asking myself why I upgraded to 32. Oh, don't tell me that. You guys know I upgraded not long ago. Right, so that's okay. I'm ignoring the RadNav page. So 0 fuel weight. Let's just pump that in. Trip wind is a tailwind of 13. We're taking 6 tons, that's taking 4.4, we've got 6 tons exactly loaded in, 6.0. Takeoff weight of 56, and alternate, we need around 1.2 tons if we're going to the alternate. We're not going to the alternate, not tonight. That gives us 45 minutes extra flying time. Okay, onto the performance page then. Transition altitude, of course, in the US of A is 1800, no it's not, 18,000. Transition altitude is, yeah, 18,000. Thrust reduction acceleration, do you know? I've not actually checked. Is it noise abatement 1 or 2? Not that it really matters for a stream tonight. Sometimes you can find it, find that information rather easily. So I'll just have a quick look. Airport information. Airport info. No, it's not giving me any information on there. So I think they use noise abatement 1, you know, a lot in America. So correct me if I'm wrong, guys. I don't fly in America, so I'm unaware of that. But anyway, go on. We'll do noise abatement 1. So that's 2,000 and 4,000. Flaps 1, toga. Okay, so that's done. Flight array, how do you turn off the large tooltips? Yeah, they're annoying, aren't they? They are in general options, accessibility options, and cockpit interaction. Turn that to classic. 128, 124, 123. There we go. Wicked Toast, it's the newest experimental build. No, Wicked Toast. Don't fly the experimental build. The experimental build hasn't been touched for months. Or it has, but behind the scenes. You can't, you don't fly the experimental build. Dev build. Developer build. That's the one that you want. Don't anybody fly the experimental version. If you fly the experimental version, kick it out. Right, so that's all done. And that looks fine. We'll get the constraints on there. We've already got the correct flight clearance in there. Refueling is now complete. Let's turn the pumps on, start that APU. We've got how many passengers left aboard? 78 passengers left aboard. 1, 2, 3. Off we go. Lucas, yeah, I thought those V speeds are rather low, but never mind, that's okay. As long as we get in the air, that's fine. Emo Jim, this update sucks. My sim was running perfectly until this new update. Now I can't get into the sim anymore. Crash the doorstep every time. Right, Emo Jim, empty your community folder and then launch the sim. Empty the community folder, launch the sim. I guarantee something in your community folder is causing the crash to desktop. Roxanne Energy, what's my opinion on the free aircraft? You mean the flying I was going to say flying hotel. The flying hospital, the DC-10. I've not looked at it. I've not had a chance. Remember, you can't fly it, though. It's just a walk-around aircraft only. Super Deal Aviation, greetings. How do you find the trip wind or identify it to put it into the McDo? Okay, so it all depends on the operational flight plan you're using, but... so the one I'm using just here, which is Easyjet's layout, then the trip wind is shown just there. Very easy. You don't have to work it out at all. It just tells you trip wind, which is nice and easy. DC Gert, you've had no crash to desktop and a great raise of FPS. That sounds good. Did I just hear a door close? Oh, my jetway's disappeared. That's annoying. Can we come back, jetway? I've still got 69 passengers at the gate. Danny, that'd be a great idea, wouldn't it? A flying hotel. If we can send people to space as a tourist trip, surely we could have a flying hotel. I'd pay to go on that. Roxanne Energy on Twitch, I've just realised I have 5 different 8K airport files in my community folder. If you're getting anything that's causing a problem, I guarantee it's a mod, an add-on, in your community folder. James Wong, how am I getting the FlyByWire to work? This is the developer version which was updated this morning, or late last night. Mash, was the emptying of the community folder actually signposted by Sobo? Yes, they do it every single update. Every single update, whether it be a sim update, a world update, even heck, even an AirX cycle update, they always say empty that community folder. The problem is sometimes the updates take you by surprise, don't they? They take you by surprise and you've actually no idea that that they're going to happen. In which case you think, dang, my community folder is full. You can get around it. You can get around it, and that is if you... it's alright, sorry, I'm just having a moment. Why is the door closed? Don't close the door. Oh, goodbye. Never mind. You can get around it. That is because if... I noticed nose wheel steering was disconnected just down here. That's why I was thinking, why have I got a tug? I haven't called a tug yet. So, if you haven't emptied your community folder, so this is a big tip for everybody. If you've updated but you haven't emptied your community folder, then shut the simulator down if you've managed to somehow get into it. empty the community folder. Just cut and paste all the files into a temporary folder somewhere on your drive. But make sure the community folder is empty. Do not delete the community folder. There has to be a community folder there. It just needs to be empty. So then launch the simulator with an empty community folder. That way you will get in, and then make sure you delete any sort of rolling cache, anything you've got like that. Then you can exit the simulator, and then you can start putting the mods back in the community folder. But it has to have at least one clean boot without anything in the community folder. Right, how are we doing? 42 passengers still remaining. Oh, well, while we're doing that, let's just talk about how we're going to do the departure. We can do some things real here, can't we? So we are parked. Where are we parked? We're parked here at... oh, we're actually at the International Concourse F. Well, that's a lie. We're only going to Washington. So we are parked stand Foxtrot 7. We're going to push back. We're going to face south. We're going to taxi out via Lima or Mike, whichever I decide. And then we can... How long's this runway? We probably don't... Oh, we'll go the full length. We'll take full length. And obviously takeoff. We're doing the Jack 2 departure, which is going to take us off, spin us round by a football. Is that over a stadium by any chance? And then that's taking us all the way up to Jack and out to Kellen. So nice and straightforward. Accelerated 250 knots. If unable, advise ATC. Oh, that's interesting. Maybe it's not noise abatement 1. Oh well, sorry, I put it in there now. So we need to be at 250 knots by Zally. Come on, passengers. I've got 28 passengers remaining. Well, whilst I'm just waiting for that, let's disconnect the external power. That's not needed anymore. Check all the other things are working. So on the data page, have we got 3 nav green? Yes, we do. We've got 5980 fuel, and that's loaded and balanced. I love the fact that I can bring up the render scaling now. Everything looks so clear, which if you've got poor eyesight like me, then that's great. Danny, that's exactly where the KLM parks most of the time, is it? I should have changed the livery, shouldn't I? Wayne, if you suck any harder. Right, and I just love how nice it is to move around. It's definitely a nice FPS increase. Remember, this is a handcrafted airport as well, so if we were going to get any frame rate issues, then you can guarantee you're going to get them here. So we're going to push back, and our departure runway is just there. I see that they've not fixed the lightning. I've not checked the weather, not for this. Can someone just grab me a Metav from Atlanta? Is it thundering and lightning in Atlanta, or is anybody in the chat actually in Atlanta? Would you let me know? That would be that'd be kind of cool, and I take it all back. If it is thundering and lightning in Atlanta right now, well done, Azobo. I'm just not convinced. Anyway. Come on, 11 passengers to go. 11 passengers to go. Lawrence, what did I do to remove the blue highlights when you press a button? Okay, I'll say again. General options, accessibility options, cockpit interaction, and set it to classic. Check out the video that I uploaded earlier today, and it goes through all of these little quirks and things, which I mean, stuff like that is designed for Xbox, isn't it? That's the reason it's there. So I guess I am slightly peeved that us PC users have had to endure the Xbox changes as well. I didn't think there was a need for it. Surely with today's modern technology they could have branched off some things that were going to work for Xbox, some things that were going to work for PC. I don't know, I'm not a coder. Maybe it's harder than I'm making it sound, but there you go. Right, everyone's on board, which, given the fact that there's no jetway, is rather remarkable.
Ready to go.
So the new pushback tool, let's see if it works. Madball01 question: are pilots also importing in real life a flight plan from the FB to the McDo? Is it just a feature? Okay, so no. It's done by ACAR's data link, whatever you want to call it. That you can uplink it, so they're not having to manually pop it all in. And when the pilots have got the EFB, they've got their flight plan all on here. Paper's gone the way of the dodo. We're being green. Alright, so that's all done. We're about ready to push back. Welcome on board, everybody. Let's get those doors armed. Rotating beacon light on. So, as I say, we're not actually following full procedures here, but I am just going through a couple of things. So that's all done.
I'd like to welcome you on board this fly-by-wire test flight in the Airbus A320. Today, we're going to be testing out some new systems, so I invite you to sit back, relax, and enjoy the flight. A reminder that this version of the Airbus is not yet available for download. All of the new systems will shortly be merged into the developer build and the upcoming experimental version. For now, please listen to your cabin crew, get yourselves seated with your seatbelts securely fastened, and as the ground crew finish loading the last of your luggage into the aircraft, we look forward to a safe, smooth departure, and we hope you enjoy your flight. Once again, on behalf of the Fly-by-Wire team, thank you very much for choosing to fly with us today, and we look forward to delivering you a safe journey.
Okay. Back we go. Ignore that little bit about fly-by-wire, test flight, etc, etc. It is a test flight, but it's not a fly-by-wire test flight. This is the live dev build, which of course you can download now. Let's get the engine started. So engine mode selected to ignition, and we'll start engine 1. Lock those flight deck doors.
As you can see, this aircraft has 6 exit doors. 3 doors are located on the left side, and 3 doors on the right side. Each door is equipped with an automatic slide.
And we can perhaps just increase the speed of that pushback a little bit. Is the parking brake on? Why is the parking brake on? I think we're moving rather slowly. That wouldn't have happened if I was actually going through my checks, would it? Jayhawk, good evening. Try turning the landing lights off after takeoff. Yours wouldn't go off. Every other switch worked, but oh, well, that's interesting. I've not updated this since this morning, so we'll wait and see. But whoever it was that was just asking a moment ago about the scenery causing crash to desktops, yes, absolutely it can. Some poor scenery can cause crash to desktops, indeed. So that's why I say you've got to add your mods and your add-ons back into the community folder in stages, in bits, following an update. Havoc, you don't have a working terrain radar at the moment. That's strange. I'll pop mine on in a little bit. Peter, where can you download the batch file from? I don't know if it's on GitHub, but you can download it from the FlyByWire what do you call it? Discord server. From the Discord server. Oh, where's my pushback stopped? Come back. I haven't finished. I hadn't finished my pushback. The ground crew are drunk today, aren't they? Well, anyway, engine 1 looks to be stabilised. Let's do engine 2. Technically, I could have spun it around just here, couldn't I? But that's better. How did I get real-life traffic on the AI liveries? So they are static aircraft. so they're not real world traffic. I've turned that off because we had a crash the desktop earlier, didn't we? Right, so if I just drop that back and stop that there, let's end the pushback, close that down, that's done. Set the parking brake. Engine number 2 is now spooling up. There comes the lightning again. And what's our COG? 21.7. There we go. Let me close that. Thank you to the new subscribers that have come along in the last few minutes. My apologies, I did miss those. So thank you to Murat and Reese and Brian on Facebook for liking the stream as well. Okay, that's all done. Engine number 2 seems to be nice and stable. So engine mode selects to norm. APU bleed can come off. APU master can come off. Anti-ice not required. Ground control off. We can put the spoilers. Check the rudder. Flaps 1. That's good. That's the first time I've actually used that hardware, and that all appears to be working nicely. So let's set that CFG. What did I say it was? 21.7. So that's quite low, isn't it? That's very low. Did I load the passengers? Well, I did load the passengers, but did I put the weight in? No, I didn't. Look at the gross weight. This is what happens when I don't do real ops flights. Right, let me just load that. There we go. Now we've got some passenger weight. No wonder those V-speeds were so low. Duh, that should have been a big clue. Let's go ahead and redo those. Centre of gravity is 30. There we are. Why didn't any of you guys pick up on that? There we are. And let's just go back to the performance page. Yeah, I bet V1, V2 and VR disagree. There we go. That's better. So then, that's all done. Pushback clearance. We're not bothering with that. Taxi lights on. Let's roll, shall we? And already I feel this is smoother. I know I did a video earlier today, but a lot of that was obviously not proper in-flight flying, so go and check that out. It basically just told you lots of neat tips and tricks and what to do, what not to do regarding the update. But yeah, this is really nice. And of course, isn't this one of the biggest airports in the US as well? Certainly one of the busiest airports in the US. I can do a quick flight control check: full left, full right, full up, full down, and we'll just slow down a little bit. Do a rudder check as well. So full left and full right. There we go. So all the controls appear to be working. That's good to see. I wish I could have done this with live AI traffic though, but if Azobo have already confirmed look at that, 787s. What was that sign? I missed that. Was it for 747s and the A380s only? Haha. Whoops. Oh well, never mind. Boston, the busiest airport in the US is Atlanta. I thought so. Anyway, flight controls have been checked. We've done a quick departure briefing. Flaps config 1. FMA and takeoff headers 131 blue, 136 magenta, climb nav blue, 10,000 blue, 1FD2, and it's a toga takeoff for us. Transponder is set. ECAM memo will clear that up in a moment. So let's go ahead and set that. Will alert the cabin crew.
Please prepare for takeoff.
Let's get the various things turned on just there. A little bit of rain coming in. What's the temperature doing? Oh, plus 24. No, we don't need that anti-ice. Okay, so we'll get airborne. Alfie, how do you know what the QNH is? So the QNH changes, it basically lets you know what the current pressure setting. Pressure changes almost every, it can be every half an hour, it can be every 15 minutes. So you would get that in the real world from the ATIS, or you can get it from the METAR. Here in the A320NX from FlyByWire, you can get it on the FlyPad, which is still quite realistic. Or you can cheat and press the letter B on the keyboard. Okay, so let's hold that there, and we'll get things ready for takeoff. So for takeoff, let's get the strobes, let's get the lights on, pack 1 off, pack 2 off. Let's get the transponder turned down. TCAS, T-A-R-A, and I also want to tell the self-loading cargo crew to get sat down. Alright, there we go. So then, let's see what's happening. Oh, someone was asking about the ground radar, weren't they? Hang on. Well, that might work once we're in the air. I'll leave that on for now, because if I just have a quick look around, I can't see too many things that I want to avoid on the weather radar. So let me turn the ground radar on, and we'll see. Okay, so parking brake released. And cabin is secured for takeoff. Engine mode select to norm. TCAS TARA. Packs off. Anti-ice not required. Keen, you've had another crash to desktop. And oh, Gavin, get the parking brake off. And you've only got store scenery and well, you have to remember that even the marketplace scenery could need an update. And you know, I think this is what's causing a lot of problems. I personally, with an update such as this, that's so big, and they've rewritten so much coding, I'd delete every single add-on that you'd got until it's been updated. I really would. Just because it's in the marketplace doesn't even mean that it works. Look at the fly-by-wire. That doesn't there. Alpha, did I set my QNH? I certainly did. I can reset it again if I wish. But it's done. Okay. Right, guys. Should we take off? Let's see how we do. You can see the QNH did change just in that time that we've been on the floor. So like I told you, the QNH changes quite regularly. It changes more when it's in millibars than it does hectopascals, to be honest. And that's just the conversion. Alright, so here we go. Takeoff. Start the chrono. 50% N1. Side stick half forward. Engine stable. Set takeoff thrust. Mantoga. SRS. Runway. Love those rain effects. 80 knots, side stick back to the neutral position, 100 knots. And V1, rotate. Follow the flight directors. Usually the first information given from the flight directors isn't always accurate. Normally you just want to fly straight until you get to the first point, but we'll leave that pitched up. That's okay, we'll be bearing left in a minute. Now we're going to set to climb thrust. There we go. So thrust climb, still SRS. Autopilot 1 is now engaged. Let's get pack 1 back on. So that's still looking rather nice and smooth, isn't it? Which I'm very happy with, given the fact that I've upgraded my settings. Remind me at the end, guys, and I'll show you what I've upgraded them to. So that's all going well. Let's get the other pack on. 4,000 feet, we should start to accelerate away. There we go. Nose is lowering down, as expected. Climb. So departure seems to be working okay at the moment. We'll get past S speed and then we'll clean the aircraft up. 5,000 feet. Release the cabin crew. And it looks like terrain is not working, so good spot. Not something I've spotted before, but the terrain radar is indeed not working. Now we're moving away from Atlanta. I'm finding it's even smoother than it was before. There we go, past S speed. Flaps 0, ground spoilers disarmed. I'm going to pop the weather radar back on. Boss Monkey 84, so live weather is bugged, we're going to get a climb issue. We'll keep an eye on that. If that is the case, we'll just go to a preset weather rather than live weather. Oh, I do love it when we get a rainbow. So far, so good. So now we've finished concentrating on that. We can start to relax a little bit. So if you want to know if live weather is still bugged, what you need to check is down here under... Oh, where's it gone? Where's ISA gone? Or is it going to come above a certain altitude? It may do. Okay. So once we've we're now at 250 knots, which is we wanted to be. Okay, if we were flying correctly by Zale, which is where we're headed to now, we needed to be at 250 knots. Once we've passed here, then to be fair, we should actually hold 250 knots until passing Zale, unless air traffic control told us, because we're going to get above 10,000 feet in a minute. And as we get above 10,000 feet, then we can accelerate. Speed Alt Star. So let's go flight level 250. That's above the transition level. So standard 250 blue and thrust climb. Oh, there we go. Now we've got now we've got the ISA. So this is what you need to keep an eye on. Keep an eye on the ISA. The further away it is from 0 is basically how bugged the weather is. You wouldn't normally find it. I've seen some crazy ones. Haven't people have been putting on my Discord that it's been coming up at something like 58 degrees higher. And that's not the case. That should never happen. So let's just have a look at that fuel burn. So well, I'd say that's slightly on the high side. We'll keep an eye on it. Has anyone tried flying on VATSIM yet? Or IVAO? Have you dared? Jazz Maxwell, you had to leave for work. How many CTDs did you make? Only the one, right at the very start. I don't know if you were around for that, Jazz. But yeah, so far, only the one. ISA is dropping slightly. Okay, past 10,000 feet. Put the airports on the EFIS and check the performance. Not the performance, the progress. 390 is doable. Let's get up to flight level 390. Yeah, I had a moment. I forgot that I'm not flying in Europe, am I? And my my standard pressure has been pulled far, far later than it normally is in Europe. Normally, by the time I'm doing that and I'm checking ISA, it's there. But obviously in America, it's much, much higher. I can go back to manage speed, actually. I don't want to climb at 250 knots. Although that will get us up nice and quickly. If I held 250 knots with thrust climb set, then we're really going to shoot up. But damn, that looks good. And Shugiri, have they fixed the approach flyback bug? I haven't tested it. I'm guessing we may do in a moment. Well, when we come into Washington, that is. Looking forward to that. So how many of you are yet to download? The problem as well is that they're mandatory updates, aren't they? They're mandatory updates, so you can't even enjoy the same as it used to be. There's nothing wrong, I can see you guys calling out the speed. Yeah, but there's nothing wrong with climbing at 250 knots. And there you go. Now we're struggling to get up. Ah, look at that. There's the ISA at 39. Right, okay. Let's do something about that. Let's come off live weather. We can't do that. So you're going to see that shoot up now to bring us down. I don't want clear skies though. Let's have some. What, should we have some scattered cloud? Yeah, why not? MBS Gaming, yeah, you need to update your FSR PC 7 as well. Calvin Parker, you're not going to update until after your vacation in a couple of weeks. That sounds like a good plan. They may have fixed some of the problems by then. Air Troopers 87, yeah, my download, by the time I've done the packages, you were talking probably around, you know, it's probably about 22 hours in total. Richard W, and you have no ground support vehicles in the... wow, okay. I've not come across that. I don't know if anybody else has. I think someone earlier was saying that they were having that problem as well. Right, well now we're climbing normally. Let's get the seatbelt signs off.
Ladies and gentlemen, the captain has now turned off the seatbelt sign and you are now free to move around the cabin. We do recommend, however, when in your seat, that you keep your seatbelt fastened at all times in case of unexpected turbulence. The toilets are now available. Please contact a member of the cabin crew if you require assistance. Thank you.
So we shall continue our climb. We'll monitor the fuel burn as well, as it was attempting to scream the engines up because of the bugged live weather. Now Kevin on Facebook also has no ground vehicles. This is a daft question, but your checklist turned on. I know that, I'm sorry if that sounds very patronising, but some updates really do mess with settings, which is really annoying. I didn't turn the lights off, did I? Oh, there we go, look, lights are coming off. I think it was Jayhawk said that there was a problem with the lights coming off. Thankfully, no issues there. Strobes are on auto. That's annoying. What's kind of frustrating for me is that until they fix the live weather, until they fix the altimeter problem, I'm not going to be on VATSIM. I bet VATSIM is quite quiet at the minute, isn't it? Aviation Guy 123, I'm doing this update and people have been having problems like not being able to launch the game and you're really scared in case it doesn't work. They've got you over a barrel, Aviation Guy. There's nothing you can do, sadly. You're stuck, aren't you? You can't fly without doing the update. When, as long as it doesn't crash the desktop when the duty-free drinks go around. We should probably start those pretty soon, shouldn't we? Oh, isn't it a shame? It's such a pretty looking simulator. Murad, this is the dev build. This is the dev build. The stable build no longer works. The stable build is no longer stable. We should make a list, shouldn't we? So far, what's not working? Hang on, let me get a pen and paper. So, weather isn't working. There's also an altimeter reporting problem giving false information to ATC, both in the simulator and VATSIM, IVAO, etc. What else isn't working? Oh, AI traffic. AI traffic isn't working. So that's 3. Come on, guys. Add to the list. What else isn't working for you? Created by Orlena. You're still downloading from last night. It's still going. Oh dear. Murad, your TCA quadrant is all messed up with the dev version. I guess that's just a matter of... When you say messed up, there's that leaves it quite open as to what's wrong. The terrain button, thank you, Maltese 75, the terrain button's not working. I expect that might be something FlyByWire may be able to fix though. Unless it happens in all aircraft, and not just the A320. Aviation Guy 123 people can't start the game. But can they start the game when the community folder is empty? This is what I want to know. Who is getting a crash to desktop? Who is getting a crash to desktop with an empty community folder? James, altitude and heading bugs won't allow you to push or pull. Yes, they will. Make sure you go to General Options, Accessibility Options, Cockpit Interaction, and set that to Classic. That's all there in the video I uploaded earlier today, explaining about that. What is the normal procedure for using brakes when landing? Is there a certain runway length where auto brake must be used, with what position, low, medium, etc.? Well, X, in the real world, they have this. The landing distance calculator. Sucks tax, you can't launch Microsoft Flight Simulator from yesterday. Again, is your community folder empty? Giant, you were about to start a flight and then saw a 22 gig update, so here you are. Peter Daniel, self-loading cargo is working. Self-loading cargo is working. In fact, let's just check that they are still here.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are about to commence serving our alcoholic drink service throughout the cabin. Please make sure your tray tables are in the downward position and clear any bags or items from the aisles. As this is a test flight, all alcoholic beverages are being served free of charge as a thank you for putting your lives in our hands today. Please note that the alcoholic drinks service is not available to under 18s. Soft drinks will instead be offered. Thank you.
So, self-loading cargo is doing its job. So James, you saw the video and you did, but you're still having no luck. James, have you downloaded the developer version from today? And not the marketplace version? Peter, you're still struggling to find the batch file. Right, do you know what? Let's have a look together, shall we? Let's see what we can find. So, if I can just open Discord in the browser. Where's it going to be? Where's it going to be? Server announcements. We'll have to have a look for that. Hang on. It's not in the server announcements. Is it in known issues? No. Updates. Just trying to search through to see if I can find it somewhere. Oh, bear with me. I would have thought that would have made it a little bit easier to find if I'm entirely honest with you. Is it in the support? The problem is that there's that many messages on Discord at the moment. And I can't find... I can't find it. Okay, so yeah, that's frustrating. Okay guys, what I want you to do is, if you're having trouble finding it, join our Discord. Let me just cue the Nightbot. So join the Easyjetsimpilot Discord server, and I will link it in there. I think that's going to be the easiest way to do it. Spudnash, these crashed desktops are really starting to bug you. Also said about it being important to clear the community folder. Is that just on the first launch? Yeah, just for the first launch. You at least need to launch the simulator once with an empty community folder. After you've launched the game once, you can then exit the game, and then put all your stuff back in. And that should work fine. How to not... Did my escape to resume toggle get unbinded for me? I don't know. The only time I press the escape, but this is when I want to go to the menu, and then I normally just hit the menu down here, resume. Now you're getting a lot of crashed desktops there as well. Oh dear. Right now, the most used letters in Discord are CTD. You are probably right. Probably right. Well, let's just have a look and see how we're doing. How far we got to go? According to the flight plan, 418 miles to go. Let's just check that fuel. Oh, we're going to land with about 2 tons of fuel. That's well within range, so that's okay. Captain, if you don't have a brake counter, do you mean a brake calculator for stopping on the runway? Basically, if it's below 2,000 meters, I'd be looking to go auto brake medium. 2,500, you could go low. Anything above that, you shouldn't need one. Of course, if it's raining or you're landing with a tailwind, well then things change. Soviet Wizard, you're playing a dangerous game there, saying you haven't had a single crash to desktop. Vicious, how do you copy the community folder? Don't copy it. No. Cut it. Get everything out of there. Just select it all and drag it all to a different folder. Anywhere. And Ian Lodkey Lights, you swear most of the problems with crashed desktops are something faulty in the community folder. So if you can load a flight with the community folder empty, it means it's something from the community folder. Yeah, quite right too. And the Gaming Aviator's also got a good point as well. Don't forget to update the packages for the world updates in your content manager, because otherwise you're trying to run old content with new content, and that never works. Which is why you also need to clear your downloaded rolling cache if you use that as well. Dean, your update won't even start. It gets stuck on 0 megabyte. Oh, wow. That's not good, is it? That's not good. So guys, if you're enjoying the stream so far, if you're finding the channel useful, then please do give the stream a like, and of course, if you wish, you can also hit that subscribe button to make sure you don't miss any future videos and updates. And of course, live streams. Ordinarily, if you are new to the channel, what you'll see me doing more often than not is flying the Airbus A320, but not like I am doing tonight. I'll be flying it correctly with full departure briefings and going through everything. And yeah, the main aim of the channel initially was to teach people how to fly the A320 in a correct and sort of semi-professional manner. Dark Fury says, "Hi, glad to see I got Microsoft Flight Simulator working." Dark, although I've been sort of silently absent from our Discord server today, as I've been very busy, I have seen the problems you've been having. Oh boy. Any joy? Any joy? I wish this weather was real. It's not, sadly. Dark, maybe I could fix it better than Microsoft. I highly doubt that. So, Dark, I'm guessing you've still not got your problems fixed. I have no idea what your problem is, apart from something about your packages not being up to date or something like that. I was very disappointed in how long it took me to actually download the update, because well, I've not got a fast internet connection. It's between 50 and 60 megabyte per second, but that really didn't matter yesterday. When downloading the update, it made absolutely no difference at all. Have Microsoft, I've not actually checked any of their servers or anything, have Microsoft and Azobo responded to any of the criticisms that they're getting because of this? Things like the live weather being broken and the altimeter not working, so we can't fly on VATSIM, stuff like that. I mean, they're really fundamental, aren't they? They are really fundamental to the way that we've used the simulator. I mean, not being able to fly on VATSIM, that breaks so much immersion for me, which is very, very disappointing. So I've not seen anything from Azobo. To be fair though, I've probably not looked. Scott, remember, thank you so much, Scott, for your support of the channel, and a big welcome to you. Welcome to the First Officers Club, Scott. Great to have you on board. That means from now on, all our future flights, you're entitled to free drinks from the bar. But big thank you, Scott, for your support. It really, really is very much appreciated. And it's a great community that you're joining. Fantastic community of guys as well. And if you're not already on our Discord, Scott, make sure you get on there as well. 9 times out of 10, if you have a problem, we'll sort it for you. Except with this update. With this update, you're on your own. We're all stumped. Bill, thank you for subscribing as well. Big Alex G, you're getting the checking for updates and it never goes away. Anybody else? Empty the community folder? Maybe? And sometimes restart the computer. Restarting the computer sort of refreshes a sort of cache that can be there. And now the real problem is that the updates are mandatory. You can't choose to skip it. No, you're right. Many of us have said that as well. Even you can't kind of play offline, can you? for that. Tom, hi, is the bat file you're looking for named deletenxworks.bat? I think it is. I've got it sat here on my desktop. Yes, it is. If there was a way I could send... what I'm going to do, like I said, if it's in the Discord, I'm going to get it in our Discord server. I'm going to ask if... just double check with the FlyByWire guys. I'm sure they'll be fine for me to share that. And I will get that in our pilot's briefing room on our Discord server for if anyone needs that. Clearway, you're having trouble getting the heading mode to engage. Anybody else? I don't know. Let's find out, shall we? Heading? No, that's working fine. Back to nav mode.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are about to serve a selection of food and snacks from the galley. Please ensure your tray tables are in the down position and that the aisles are kept clear. Due to the nature of this test flight, sick bags have also been provided for you in the pockets of the seats in front of you. Here, you'll also find a snack menu showing the food items that are on offer. Please keep any litter you may have and our cabin crew will be around shortly afterwards to collect it. Thank you.
Sophia Wizard, I'm incredible at maths. Must be my pilots have to be good at... No, they don't. If you can multiply and divide by 3, you're good. We'll put that to the test in a little bit. Hey Jonathan, liking on Facebook. Oh, thank you so much. And Talia Johnson, good day to you. How's your day been? Ian, what am I using to move the cockpit camera? Okay, so these are custom views which I have set up, and anyone can get these. These are available for free, available to download from our Discord server. So again, another good reason to get on there. There's also a video on the channel showing how to install them. It's pretty straightforward and easy. But yeah, you get some lovely views, and following this update, they actually move around really nicely, don't they? Right, I said I was going to have a look at how we're going to do this approach. And thank you to Blessed Stanley on Facebook for liking the stream. Okay, so we're going to set ourselves up doing the CAPS 3 arrival, which begins... Hang on, let's get the right chart up. So the CAPS 3 arrival begins here at Waves and takes us up to up to Pack. From Pack then we make a right hand turn to Fergie. After Pack we'd normally get radar vectors from ATC. Of course we're ignoring that, we're going to vector ourselves in. The key thing here is at Fergie we want to be at 3,000 feet. 3,000 feet. All the way down. Now, if the RNAV final approach mode was working, we could just pop it into final approach and it would do all these step downs quite nicely. Sadly, that is not the way of the world at the moment. So what we can do instead is we can do the river visual, which again, 3,000 feet at Fergie. From there, we're just going to follow the river. Now, this isn't a approach I'm actually familiar with, so I don't mind if it goes completely wrong this evening. But we're basically going to look at these recommended altitudes. We want to be nice and configured as well when doing this. We certainly don't want to be flying too fast. So have we also got Washington DC VOR on there, DCA. So I'm going to go ahead and get a few things set up now for this approach. destination estimated fuel on board is below the minimums. Huh. No, it's not. Well, around 1.8. I'd be starting to get concerned if it was dropping to below 1.5 tons, but that's okay. Clear that. Ignore that. Scott, if you jump onto my Discord server, they're in the pilot's briefing room if you want to go and grab those. So, what am I doing? Radnav page. DCA. I'm going to need that. Check that frequency, 111.0. There it is. Gaming Aviator, the electronic flight bag has issues as well. Has it? What issues have you got? Right, let's work out the top of descent, when we're going to do it. So, we want to be 3,000 feet at Fergie. Just checking to see if there's any speed restrictions on this. Obviously, below 250 knots. Not that I can see, so we'll just be sensible about it. Aircraft may visually follow the river to the airport, or may proceed via the RNAV approach to the Setok waypoint, and then follow the river to the airport. That sounds like a good plan. Yeah, so it begins at Setok, and at Setok we want to be 1,500 feet. We can then go down the 3-degree glide path angle, flight path angle. So we'll use track FPA for that. I might try manage mode for this, but in order to do that, the constraints need to be right. So if I just go to the flight plan, let's see what those constraints are showing. So at Darrick 2,600, yep, that's right. 1,700 at Grays, that's correct, and then at Setup 1,500. Yeah, okay. Okay, so here's the plan. We're going to be 3,000 feet at Fergie. After Fergie, I'm then going to set 1,500 feet on the FCU, and I'm going to put it into manage mode, and it's going to descend hopefully with the constraints to Setok. After Setok, we're going to knock autopilot off. We're going to put the bird on, track FPA, and then we're going to go all the way down a nice 3-degree descent angle, looking out the window, and then we're going to come in for a landing on runway 19. What could be simpler? He says through gritted teeth. Right, when are we descending? What are we at? We're at flight level 390 now. So we'll start that descent. We've got a minor tailwind. I mean, we're not going to have any weather, are we? We've not got real world weather. So about just so we can slow down as well, I reckon if we look to slow down about 115 miles away, we're going to go down. So let's go into the progress page and pop in Fergie, which is where we want to be by 3,000 feet. Will someone shoot the pianist, please? Keep hearing the pianist. There we go. Fergie. Check I've spelled that right, actually. F-E-R-G-I. Oh, good lord. What have I put in? F-E-R-G-I. 271 miles away. That's the one. In fact, is that the one? There was a couple there. They're both the same. I'll opt for the top one. I don't know whether to try the replay tool when we come in. So let me just come back to the chat. So, Christian, don't let us Fergie sing the national anthem. Gaming aviator for the fuel estimates. The calculations are all over the place. Sometimes it's okay, and other times it gives you warnings. That's the first time I've seen that warning, to be honest with you. So is descending in managed mode working now? No, it isn't. I know that sounds confusing. No, it's not. But because I'm not going to start descending in managed mode until I've got to 3,000 feet. Okay, let me just talk you through this. So at the moment, I'm going to go down to 3,000 feet. If I told the simulator, if I told the aircraft rather, I'm going to set this to 3,000 feet and went into managed mode for 3,000 feet, boom, the aircraft would drop me at 6,000 feet per minute. All the way down to 3,000 feet. And you'd be then trundling along at 3,000 feet for the next 150 miles. That's no good. And that's because it's targeting the constraint, the first constraint that we've got of 3,000 feet. What I'm going to do is descend. I've worked out my own top of descent. We're going to descend probably, I don't know, it's roughly going to be about 2,000 feet per minute, something like that. We'll keep an eye on that. And then we're going to get to 3,000 feet at Fergie. Once we've passed Fergie, I am going to select 1,500 feet. And because then it's only got about 1,000 feet to drop, the aircraft is going to descend nicely 1,000 feet. And then with this constraint as well, Graze is 1,700 feet. So it is going to take those into account. It's alright if you're only going to descend in managed mode through a couple of constraints. That's fine. But you don't want to go from 39,000 feet down to 3,000 feet because it'll drop you like a stone. Someone, thank you so much for your kind donation there to the stream and the channel this evening. Hope you've been having fun. Hope you have also had a trouble-free update if you have been doing the update today. So a big thank you once again for your very kind donation. That is very, very much appreciated. And again, just like everybody else, if you've got any questions, please please do ask. Do I have an issue with the A320X where the mouse cursor disappears when moving around and on the loading screen? Occasionally it does, but then you just click it and it reappears. Edward, what FPS am I getting now? Honestly, I have no idea. I have no idea. I'll turn it back on. I'll turn it on when we get to Washington, shall I? And see what happens. Just because I don't pay any attention to them. Apart from the video I did a little bit earlier today, just to see, I never look at my FPS. All I care about is that it's smooth and looks good. Yeah, sorry guy, I'm not flying in live weather, just because it didn't work. Didn't work out. X, you've watched all the real world procedure videos many times and learned a lot. You are more than welcome. This isn't going to work actually, I've just realised, because if I get the METAR, that's the live weather, presumably, and we're not going to be landing on live weather. Never mind. So we'll not use the landing calculator whilst ever we can't use live weather. Let's just have a quick look and see. Runway 19. Right, so it's going to be full length, I think, looking at that. Oh. Come on. Where's my airport? Yeah, so we've got full length. It's 2,185 meters. Okay, auto brake low for that. So we'll get that on.
Ladies and gentlemen, on this test flight for FlyByWire, we are pleased to be able to offer you exclusive tax-free savings on all your purchases today. You may wish to consider upgrading your service to becoming a channel member and benefit from the extra perks that
ignore that. Yes, it is. Of course, it's available for downloading the dev version using the FlyByWire installer. MFS Pilot, do I remember when the FlyPad crashed the whole sim and I did the fastest startup ever when the FlyPad first came out? I've had to do that a couple of times. My head, for some reason, everything you're interacting with is locked. How do you mean? I'm not quite sure how you mean there. Oh, which airport is that down there? Pilot to ATC. A lot of people swear by Pilot to ATC as an alternate to the default. And I used to have it on FSX. Really, really good. Really good. Chris, what are my sensitivity settings? If you're flying the FlyByWire developer build, they should be all rather linear. That is a nice straight diagonal line with a slight dead zone set in the center. Let's just have a look then, see how this approach looks on the display. Oh wow, that is spot on. Yeah, couldn't be happy with that. That is exactly what I would expect to see. That matches up with my my chart just there. Look, nice. Sarkodek, hello, Captain, with the Excel folder for Takeoff performance and right. Okay, I think you're talking about the Excel calculator, aren't you? That's not foolproof. That's not foolproof. So at the moment, unless I've got real world calculations, I'm going Toga and every one of those. X, there is so much that I do not know yet, but on the other hand, learnt so much that I did not know before. I believe this is a lifelong journey. Well, I've been at it nearly 20 years. In fact, no, over 20 years. Not in the not just in the Airbus 320, I hasten to add, but I learn every day. Little Big Mac, hello. Do they do such things? So I'm just keeping an eye on my distance to Washington, 208 miles. So as I said, we're going to start our descent around 115 miles away. Sarah, hello! You've just jumped in. Am I flying with custom weather at the moment? Yes, I am. Live weather is balked. That's not working. Max 75, you've been a member for 3 months. Oh, fantastic. Charlton, can you put the toolbox away yet? Oh, God, no. Yeah, Sarkotech, you've got to remember the Excel calculator. As far as I'm aware, that Excel calculator doesn't... Well, one, it's not designed for the Neo engines. And two, I don't know if it has runway lengths involved. Which is a big, big thing when it comes to V-speeds. A lot of people think that V-speeds is all about how heavy you are and how quickly you can get up into the air. And it's really not. Bit more complicated than that. And Nicola, have you been a member for 5 months? Wow, it's almost like an anniversary day. My head, what I think you need to do, check out my video that I uploaded earlier on today, and it tells you about unlocking those particular interactions, and hopefully explain what's going on there. Crystal, how much better is the FPS after the update? Very much so. Yeah, bear in mind I normally have my GPU locked to about 35 anyway. I've removed that lock just for this, just to see how it's going. Do you know what, actually, go on, it is a bit of a test flight. Let me just put the dev back on. Let's have a quick check, shall we? If we go to developer, turn that on, fine, save that, go back, resume, let's see what's happening. Yeah, so I think what I can gain from that is the fact that it's now more consistent, and I can sort of pan around and you can see that I'm not losing any frames. Now bear in mind, this is a mid-range PC. It's only got a GTX 1660 in it, a Ryzen 5 3600. It's not a not one of the top graphics cards. And before I showed you that FPS counter, okay, well now you know what it is. In fact, you get a little bit more when you're in the flight deck, because it's the outside and the weather that seems to be that is one of the key things that drops them down. And if I cleared all the skies, you'd probably get more. But if I just turn that off, so get rid of that, exit dev mode. This is a bit weird, I never understood this. You exit dev mode, but then you still need to go into general options there, go back into the developer, and then, oh, it has turned it off, it never used to. Oh well, that's something they've fixed at least. There we go. But yeah, so if you didn't know what FPS I was getting right now, what would you guys have guessed at? I mean, look, not quite sure how well that comes across on the stream. But would you have said 35? You don't need high FPS for Flight Simulator. You really don't. Callum, pressing escape does not go back into the game. The only thing I can do is quit to the main menu or restart a flight. Eh? So if I press escape, just as I did there, why can't you just press resume or the letter P button? Callum, good evening. You have an issue with the sim that you don't think I have. When you're in a game in the aircraft and you press escape, none of these sectors. Oh, right, okay. This is strange, because you've just seen me pressing the escape key to going back into the menu options and then coming straight back. It's very strange, isn't it? Frank Gamer, I think the Air Force is probably a good way to go. Adam, has my sim crashed with the A320NX? Twice. Twice. The very first time I loaded it, this morning, and again right at the start of this stream. I don't know, it's weird, isn't it? So guys, just before, we're not that far away from our descent now, but if you are enjoying the stream, then please do me a huge favour, hit the like button. It makes a massive difference to the channel, and also helps other members of YouTube, not members, but other viewers on YouTube find the channel as well. And of course, if you've gotten something out of it, please hit the subscribe button and turn on the notifications bell so that you don't miss any future flights where we're doing them properly. Awakened Soldier, minimum 30 FPS for a flight sim is everything you need. Anything else is bonus. Quite right too. I wholeheartedly agree with that. How far are we away? 168 miles.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are about to commence serving our alcoholic drink service throughout the cabin. Please make sure your tray tables are in the downward position and clear any bags or items from the aisles. As this is a test flight, all alcoholic beverages are being served free of
I often wonder when I hear that cabin announcement, how many of the viewers are under 18? Not that it matters. I love having youngsters on the channel, helping them learn. So, 150 odd miles away. Mustafa, yeah, I'm having to use a preset weather. Live weather is busted. Adam, do I know of a stream overlay which uses Sim Connect because of the FSR PC that kills your frame rates? Yeah, the one I'm using right now. From Flying Live Studios. Works very, very well. Yakovic, you're 15. Excellent. Soft drinks for you, I'm afraid. J-Hog, you're not under 15. Decades, maybe. Probot, your Arix Europe add-on isn't working. I'm afraid I have no idea what that is. My apologies. I can't help you with that. And Miguel, thank you for subscribing on YouTube. Right, well. Oh, I was gonna get the weather, wasn't I? Ah, well that makes absolutely no blooming difference because I'm not using live weather. Right, well, if we're not using live weather, QNH is just going to be 1013 or 2992 if we're in America. That's what I should put it in, 2992. Temperature, I have no idea what the temperature is going to be. Well, I'll just make it up. I'm not doing an auto land, so it doesn't make that much difference, but it does calculate the VAP speed correctly. Wind, well, I don't know. The winds are going to be light, so 190 at, I'll call it 5. Transition altitude is, of course, 18000. And the decision altitude is 491. Actually, it's 491 if you're doing the full RNAV approach. The river visual is a little higher. Callum, yeah, on our pop any problems you've got on the Discord, the Easyjetsimpilot Discord server. I keep saying if you're not on that, please do go ahead and join it. Loads of people on there that can help. Many of them smarter than me. Cabin altitude 8,400 feet. Risking it a bit. Am I suffering from any CTDs? I hope that's not a medical condition. I've had 2 so far. Lynx Flight, are you alone in suffering crashes of FPSs after touchdown in the A320X? Guess we'll find out in a few minutes, won't we? I must say as well that I know I showed my frame rates off earlier as what they were, sort of holding around the 35 benchmark. That's not a fair comparison compared to what I used to have, because I used to have 35. I'm happy with 35. 35 is fine. But I've gone and cranked up a heck of a lot of settings since the update. So before I did that, before I cranked them up, I was having 50. Not in Manhattan, obviously. Manhattan's a special area, but just general day-to-day flying. That high altitude, normal airports, takeoff, etc. I was getting between 40 and 50, and I've brought the scenery level and the details, etc. I've brought them up to enhance the visuals and still maintain the frame rates that I was comfortable with, and that's the way I'd recommend that a lot of people do it. Forget your frame rates and look at the visuals. That's more important. And if after this update you can improve on the visuals because of the higher frame rates, then do it. Jeff Simple has the CRGF update. I've not tried it, but I think Aerosoft we're going to have to roll out an update for it, just the same as PMDG. Artifa, I know it's not live weather, but preset weather is pretty close to what it is right now in DC. Expecting a storm. What is it? Can someone get me the meta? Or hang on, is this still live? Does this still give live meta? It might have done actually. We're going to go down in a minute. What am I doing? Wrong page. So that's live meta. I've broken 7,000 feet, 33 degrees. No wind. Oh, that'll do. I think it's time to head down.
Ladies and gentlemen, flying once again, delighted to know that we will switch checks and tests up here, and we'll shortly be starting at our destination. At which point, cabin crew will start to arrive to speeding. Please make sure that we are there and assist the cabin crew as they start making their way around the aircraft. It will be most appreciated. Thank you, and we'll have an update for you shortly.
Okay, so that sort of sinking feeling that you get if you've ever been on an aircraft as you start to go down, you know that you're on your way down. Anyway, we've got thrust idle open descent 3000 blue, we've set local pressure. Chalty CTZ is chronic terrible dissatisfaction. Yakovic 06, our livery is broken. Some of them may be. The only way to find out which ones are broken is to drop them into the communities folder bit by bit and see what happens. Christian, I probably have wind on the preset weather. Of course, yeah. Well, I'll tell you what. Should we make it a little bit more favourable for us? Hang on. Yeah, you're right. Let's change that, shall we? We'll not have it bang on 190. That's cheating ever so slightly. But let's. Do I need to resize that so I can see all of it? There we go. There we go. That's that'll do. Squadron leader, I think they'll fix the crashing issue soon. Oh, I hope so. J Hug, am I going to do a video on the new settings I'm using? I'll tell you what I'll do. Right at the end of this stream, stick with me. I'll quickly show them. That way people can screenshot them or watch the video back a little bit later on. Yarvation, your FlyByWire tablet shows up white. What, do you mean the actual tablet itself around here? There's a mod you can get for that. I don't know why anyone would particularly want a white tablet, but there you are. Anything white is banned in our house because of the kids. Jeff74, you read this somewhere that they would turn live weather back on when down to a certain altitude. Well, that would make sense. Below about 10,000 feet, you can probably get away with that. So quick descent calculation. What are we at? We're at 30,000. 27 times 3, 81. 81 miles, we're at 94. Beautiful. That gives us about 30 miles to play with. Start slowing the aircraft down. Chris Hogg, good evening, sir. Hope you're well. Yeah, eventually you turn the tablet on, you click it, and the screen is white. Ooh. What have you got in the community folder? That's going to become my catchphrase, I think. What's in your community folder that could be causing such issues? And of course, Javation, which version of the Fly-by-Wire do you have? Squadron Leader, you always program your FMC, I presume you mean your FMGC, in the aircraft, but does the map on the home screen work as well? I think it does. I always do as you do, import it from SimBrief. Brian, you're curious to see if the flight pan goes nuts on the approach or if they fixed it. Let's find out together, shall we? Richard Adams has also been a member for 3 months. Hello, Richard. Thank you for your continued support. So if a white screen means an older version of the mod, yeah, get the latest one. Christian, you like the phrase broken stable, yes. It should now be renamed the unstable. Whatever you think about Microsoft Flight Simulator, it still looks so good. If you can get it to load. One of my little bugbears, and it's not huge, but I wish in the camera settings that, I mean, in order to get a decent panning view, you've got to set that to 0.8%. And then what? Come on, you've got all this slider to play with, 0.8. And then you can actually enjoy the view a little bit more. Malteser 75, it's now the community to desktop. I like that. Looks like your beacon light became in-op after the latest update. Is that in the Fly-by-Wire mod? And if so, which version? Kevin on Facebook, you think the clouds are not as good? You think it's a step backwards? There's just, I don't know. I always think they're not as good as when the simulator very first came out, but then I think, is that just the newness effect? You think, wow, look at that, that's amazing, compared to FSX or whatever. And now we see it all the time, and we're looking and thinking, oh, really? Are we just finding fault for the sake of it? But we're on our way down into DC, nice heavily scenic area. We're going to attempt the river visual, which I think I've done once before. But whatever happens, if we do crash the desktop or anything like that, I hope you've enjoyed the stream this evening. If you have, please do give it a like and maybe subscribe to the channel. Turn on the notification bell so you don't miss future streams. So let's just keep an eye on our descent there. We've got about 13,000 feet to lose. So we're well below profile. Let's just reduce our descent rate a little bit. We're going to start slowing down as well pretty soon. Alex, has the LNAV on the fly-by-wire gotten worse? I don't think so. Chris, I'm using the dev build. I always use the dev build at the minute. Right, so this is going to be interesting. We're 30 miles, or just under 30 miles away from the decel point. This is the point where the aircraft will automatically enter the approach phase. This is the point where in the past you'd pass the decel point and the entire approach would get messed up. So we're going to see what happens. I'm not going to arm it automatically, I'm going to see what happens. Raphael on Facebook, thanks for the like. Braden, how do you start at the gate on an Xbox? No idea. Yakovich, the sim lasted 1 minute on the loading screen, then it crashed. Community folder empty? W says, hello, if it's not a secret, could I tell you how to get an overlay like mine? It's FlyLive Studio. Give it a quick Google. FlyLive Studio. Sosa, your community folder was deleted. Find out where it should be and put it back. You can make it manually. Scott Bremer, do you know what? You're going to have to take that one to Discord because I think there's some other people that can help you with that. I've always got this Microsoft Store version. George, thanks for liking the stream on Facebook. And for those of you that may be on Facebook, if you can, we'd love you to share the stream. Just because we're new on Facebook, trying to build up a bit of a following on there as well. And thank you to Adam Duke as well. Captain, roll on the floor laughing. Your load distance is still a problem for you. Buildings popping up out of nowhere. You see, that really doesn't bother me, but I guess that all depends on the kind of flying you're doing. So I'm going to go into open descent, thrust idle, open descent. Just allow the aircraft to slow down to 250 knots below 10,000 feet. And then we'll continue that descent. We can now set a V speed. We'll slow down as long as we're at 1,000 feet VS speed VS 1,000. Then we'll continue to slow down, as we are doing just there. And Art Pepper, thank you so much. Art, welcome to the channel. Thank you so much for becoming a channel member. That is really kind of you. Thank you so much for your support. Yeah, free drinks on every flight for you from now on, Art Pepper. Glad you've enjoyed the channel. and hopefully the stream tonight. Time for the seatbelt signs to go on.
Ladies and gentlemen, the captain has turned on the fasten seatbelt sign. If you could please return to your seats and ensure that your seatbelt is securely fastened. If you are traveling with an infant, please ensure that they are secured safely using the infant seatbelt provided. The toilets will now go out of use until the fasten seatbelt sign is turned on. Please contact a member of the cabin crew if you require assistance. Thank you.
Okay, so let's continue our descent all the way down to 3,000 feet. We've only got 24 miles to go. We should have plenty of time to get down there. And Paul, thank you for subscribing as well. Mark, thank you for sharing the stream on Facebook. It's really kind of you. Normally if we're doing the real ops flight, would have run the approach checklist and also got the seatbelt signs on before 10,000 feet. So we just want to check that the minimums are set. Engine mode select is norm. We've briefed our approach. So Washington is over here, basically. I do think everything looks a lot better. I do, but that might just because I've hooked up my graphics. There's also a river visual from the south, isn't there? Which I think starts just here. Captain S, is the Phoenix Simulations A320 really going to compete with the likes of Tullis? Absolutely, you bet it will. From everything I've seen so far. Derek Daniel, can you have the FlyByWire A320 from the marketplace and the dev build at the same time? Absolutely not. They will fight each other and crash your simulator. That's a problem that I think a lot of people are having at the moment. Right, well, we passed the decel point and we haven't had any problems. The approach is still good. I'm just going to get rid of the chat box now so that you guys can see what I see out of the window as we start to come back in. Okay, so what we can now do is start to slow the aircraft down. We're going to go into managed. So manage the speed. And I'm just going to get the charts up next to me as well to make sure we do this correctly. And we'll start to slow down once we've got 3,000 feet. 10 miles away, plenty of time. DJ Drago, your house lines up with runway 30, which is to the left. Yes, of course. Several airports around Washington. Is that Washington Dulles? Is it still called Washington Dulles? I said right at the start of my stream, I don't fly in America very often. My knowledge of USA geography is woefully inadequate. Through that cloud layer, get the ice off. Okay, so we're about 4 miles from Fergie. We're going to start slowing that aircraft down. That's absolutely fine. David, you have to pop out. So how many crash to desktops have I had so far? Did you see the first one? I'm touching lots of wood now on the desk in front of me. That's the only one. Alt star, 3,000 feet. We're going to make that right hand turn in a moment. Now, is there anyone else that spots the problem with my navigation display? Can anyone see what I'm looking at thinking, that doesn't look right?
Ladies and gentlemen, you'll be relieved to know we're about to land. Please make sure you are seated with your belts fastened and your trays in the upright position. Please turn off all electronic devices until
Answers on a postcard. And Stephen Murray has also been a member for 3 months as well. Okay, we're going to start configuring now. And we're going to go flaps 1, speeds checked, flaps 1. Pretty soon we'll be following the Potomac. Arkansas's not seeing the VOR needles. The VOR needle is there, it's just at a 90-degree angle, so you can't see it. You can just see that sort of coming back in now. No, what I was looking at was, here's my distance to Fergie, yet on the navigation display, it was 5 and more miles away. These numbers didn't add up, which was a bit strange. But there we are. So that's what I was looking at. But here we go. Christian, you already solved the quiz that HD gave on Discord today. Yeah, he gave me that quiz first. Thankfully I answered. But I didn't want to put my answers on Discord because, well, that would have spoiled the game. Okay, so we're at 190 knots. That's fine. We can hold 190 knots for the time being. We're 12 miles away, and before we start the descent, we want at least flaps 2 out. So now we're going to go flaps 2, and speed checked. Flaps 2. So now we're targeting Derek. This is where I'm going to try something. So we're going to select 1,500 feet. And we're going to go descent. So this should now target 2,600 and then after that 1,500. And we're going to follow the river all the way down.
2,500.
Radio altimeter is alive. And 160 knots, that's fine for now. I can already see the airport, so that's okay. And we'll now put track FPA on.
2,500.
And you can see we're now going down to 1,700 feet for grays. That's correct. So that's working nicely. And now we're going to, as I say, continue to configure nice and early. So landing gears going down. And I can now go back to manage speed and continue to slow down even more. Let's get our lights on. .2 miles from Setok. We should be at 1,500 feet by the time we get there. Then we're going to get the autopilot off. Okay.
Cabin crew, please take your seats.
Autopilot disengaged. Flight directors off. And we just want to get the bird in the right place, following that river still. And flaps 3, speed checked. Flaps 3.
Flight attendants, please prepare for landing.
And flaps full. Landing checklist.
1,000.
Cabin is secured. Auto thrust speed. Go around altitude is not set. Never mind. ECAM memo landing no blue. And there is our runway, so a nice turn right at the end. Certainly a great approach to do and have a little bit of fun in, isn't it? And that's where we must not fly.
500. Minimum. 400.
And then we don't have too long to line up, so make positive movements to ensure that happens.
300.
Get that centre line. Perhaps a little bit too late, but we'll get that back on track.
200. 100. 50. 40. 30. 20. 10. 5.
And down we go. Auto brake low is coming in. Reverse is green, and of course spoilers are deployed. 70 knots, reverse is off. We'll knock off auto brake as well. And we can vacate just here. What a nice approach.
Ladies and gentlemen, please remain seated until the aircraft arrives at the gate and the seatbelt signs have been turned off. You are reminded to keep all electronic devices switched off until you have entered the airport terminal. If you enjoyed your flight, you can now join the channel as a member and receive extra perks to make your future flights with us more enjoyable. Once again, a reminder that this is a test version of the Airbus A320 and not yet available for download. Please join us in a round of applause for the wonderful FlyByWire developers. Thank you.
Okay, so just in case you heard that, there of course this version is available to download. This is the developer version. If you want to go ahead and download that, you can go and do that right now. Remember, the stable version that you can download in the marketplace does not work. So that's quite important. No idea where we're going to park here, by the way. I'm just kind of making this up as I go along. So I'm going to show you my settings following the update in a moment, so don't disappear if you want to see those. I don't know what the landing rate was on that, but to be honest, it looked fine. And as I keep saying, ignore the landing rate. Center line, landing zone, far more important. Could probably have done with taxiing a little bit closer to the terminal for there, but no matter, we're in, and well, we're in, and we're down. Wonderful. Okay, let me just get the parking brake on. Done. So, what do I think of the update? Overall, I think the update is great. I think the update has done some fantastic things, but it has also done some rather annoying things. The broken weather, that's no good. Broken live weather, that needs fixing ASAP. What else needs fixing? The altimeter bug with air traffic control, both default in the simulator and the fact that we can't fly on VATSIM at the moment, or any online air traffic control, that's bugged. Live traffic, that causes crash to desktops, that's a shame. And well, terrain radar doesn't work. I expect FlyByWire will probably sort that. But yeah, so hopefully guys, you've all enjoyed the stream this evening. I do kind of like doing these update streams and doing a bit of a fun approach as well. I might go back and do that again at some point, because I think I can do better, and it's not what I'm used to, but never mind. A big thanks to the FlyByWire team for getting the update out so quickly. That's amazing. Once again, they're always ahead of the game, aren't they? If you have enjoyed the flight tonight, please give the stream a like. That is a major plus for the channel if you can. It also helps other users of YouTube find the channel as well. And maybe hit the subscribe button, turn the notifications bell on so you don't miss anything. Let's just have a quick look then at what I've done with my settings. So if I just come to the general options here and go to the graphics. Oh, we're on the graphics. There we go. Okay, so global rendering quality is custom. Now, as a starting point, I set it to high. It was high before, but as I explained in a moment, I've changed quite a lot since then. So if you put it on high to begin with, see how you're getting on, that's great. One of the other things I've upscaled is the render scaling, just because I could push it further. It was at 100, it's now 130. Everything is looking much sharper, as I'm hopefully you'll have seen on the stream this evening. Terrain level of detail, that used to be 100. I've now bumped that up to 140, again without any major impacts. And then terrain vector data, well, I want that at ultra, just because that makes sure that all the roads and everything is nice and in the right place, so I've always had that at ultra. That's no change. Buildings, trees, grasses and bushes, etc. I always used to have at medium. Well, at high now, which is looking really nice. Object level of detail, again, that was at 100. I've now pushed that to 120. Volumetric clouds, I've always put that at ultra, so no change, just no changes just there. Texture resolution, that used to be at medium, that's now high. Anthroposcopic, I think, was at 6, as was texture sampling, used to be at 2, so they've gone up a couple of notches. And then water waves, texture synthesis, shadow maps, everything, essentially everything has gone up by 1 notch for me personally. Reflections were always on high, they've gone up to ultra and they look really nice. Things, however, such as like motion blur, I'm not bothered about that, so I could probably turn that off, but I've just left that on low. But yeah, if you want to try and emulate some of these, obviously you can now watch the stream back at some point and you can see all the different settings that I've got. Essentially, I appear to have gone up 1 notch on every single one of those, and obviously increased, as I say, the render scaling, so everything looks a lot sharper and clearer. So I hope that has been of some use for you. So if you do want to see these again at some point, obviously just hit the subscribe button. Make sure you can get back to that as tomorrow or whenever you've got a bit more time to play. If you haven't yet downloaded the update, please remember, get rid of everything in your community folder before you do, and also some of the updates and things you bought from Marketplace, you may have to get rid of those as well. You may have to get rid of them because until the developer updates them for this new version, well, then you're going to oops, here comes the logbook. I've also just realised I've not started the APU, so all the power's about to go off. Unless I very quickly get the external power on there. There we go. But yeah, there we are. All in all, great update, but just some bugs that need ironing out. There we are. So guys, if you want to discuss anything like this further, or you're still having problems, please do join our Discord server. I'll just quickly get the Nightbot to drop a message and get that up there. It's also on the video description down below, but if you want to come and join the Discord server, loads of people able to help you out with that. So a big thank you to everyone. I'm going to disappear now. I hope you've all enjoyed the stream this evening. It's been great fun having you all on board. Please hit the like button on your way out, as I keep asking, I know, but it does make a massive difference to the channel statistics. So have a great evening, everyone. Happy flying, and I hope that we are slowly going to do away over the next few days with the constant crash to desktops. I look forward to seeing you all again on the next stream very, very soon. Have a great day, everyone, and good night. Bye-bye.
Cabin crew, please disarm the doors. Thank you. Cabin crew, aircraft is secure. Ladies and gentlemen, from the flight deck, once again, I hope you have enjoyed your flight with us today on this Fly-by-Wire test flight. On behalf of the Fly-by-Wire development team, I'd like to thank you for supporting the project, and we hope you enjoyed seeing all of the new features that were being displayed today in this Airbus A320 NX pre-release version.